And we're live. Okay. Well then. So hopefully everybody can hear me okay. I'm checking my mic. Everything looks fine. So, folks, remember remember back in the days when we had a thing called G+, and actually we even had people that would focus in on the great debate. So this was atheists talking to Christians and Christians talking to atheists and anti-theists being very anti-theisty and fundies being very fundy, and people were digging the trenches in, and I came in like a very naive idiot and I said, God is love. And this is how I got my name. I tried to smooth, make everything smooth. I came in to the great debate community, very naive. I kind of observed it in 2014 late, and then I came into 2015, and I started doing these interactions. I started my descents into the internet. I started my first great debate situation. I was in a Nadia hangout, and with Nadia, and it was Mark Yanoya and Christian Smith, who I still talk to, and Bunto, and a few others. And I was the lone Christian, and I just popped in there, and I was as sweet as can be at the time. This is before I got ruined, and and we started talking about Jesus, and I started trying to defend Christianity. It was like at the time, 9 against 1, and two of them were anti-theists, and it was pretty crazy. I wish I had that hangout, because I guess Christian Smith cited that hangout and that interaction changed his mind and how he interacts with Christians, that he's not going to be so firebrand, because at the time he was more firebrand, and then became less firebrand because he realized like there's some folks that don't receive it so well. But yeah, back in the days. So just a background of this hangout I'm going to show. This hangout I've kept hidden for a while because the person that was rude to me did apologize. But now I think it's just kind of funny to look back. And at this time, Tanya Galaxy and eYou're were two anti-theists. They had left Christianity, fundamental Christianity, and were going through their kind of angry, rabid phase and went anti-theism all the way. All religion is harmful and bad and destructive, and kind of went firebrand. I didn't know anything about them, and I was dared by an atheist to go in and talk to them. And I thought, well, I mean, what's going to happen? It's the internet, right? And so I went in there to talk to them, and this is back before I would throw a punch back. So like before I was like a lot kinder, and I was just like, I will elevate discourse and be kind to you even if you spit in my face. So that was the approach that I took. I'm kind of ruined now. I'm not quite that same person. If you kick shit in my face, I'm going to do it back to you. But at the time, I had a very different approach. In this clip, you're going to see Pillbox, back when he actually interacted more with mixed groups, not just hid in theist room and flat earthers. You're going to see Grampy Lobster's icon at the very least in there. I think he had been drinking or something, or they kicked him out for making noise. And I think Mowdy's scared in the corner going, I'm not a part of this. And Annabelle going, shut up, Deidre. So it's always a fun, good interaction. So here goes without further ado. Go to eYou're's room, they said. It would be fun, they said. Talk about Jesus, they said. So here we go. Let me share this. Share screen. I don't want to share that video file. Why is it telling me that? All right, stop. Share screen again. There we go. I don't have busy to yell out to fill in time. Busy. So I'm not cool like that. I don't have a robot or something that does this for me. So it's just me bumbling around because I'm a boomer apparently. Let's see here. The hangout was called Come Hang With Me. So it bid me welcome. It said, come hang with me. And I said, oh, okay. I can't resist this welcome. And plus I was dared to come in there. And I thought, you know, what's going to happen to me, right? So I go into this hangout. I think it's going to start with Pillbox because I just wanted some context beforehand. So I did keep Pillbox in here. And here we go. And if you can't hear, let me know. I can try to turn it up.
Humans and dinosaurs live together. What does the conclusion lead to? What does that mean?
What do you mean? What? Did you say Fred Flintstone?
Yeah, that Jurassic Park should never happen. I mean, if they did,
Jurassic Park never happened. You're the one who believes in Jurassic Park, Wolf. So that's your problem.
No, you're the one that believes in Adam and Eve fucking bullshit story, Pillbox, which is what I would expect. I would expect better from you. Sorry.
Yeah, humans never walked with dinosaurs. That's stupid as well.
That's Ken Ham's idea of a joke.
If Adam and Eve existed, why did they have belly buttons?
Wait.
Well, at least in the artist.
Besides that, Patrick.
Do you understand that fact, though, that we find tortoises fossilized with dinosaurs? Do you guys understand that fact?
Why is what's that got to do with humans?
That's my point. That's what I'm trying to get at. Do you understand the scientific fact?
You're fucking Nephilim free.
Interpretation.
It is absolute bullshit.
Yeah, but he's Nephilim free speech.
Do you understand the fact?
Pillbox,
I'm talking about the fact.
You follow Nephilim free, as if that.
No, I don't follow Nephilim free.
Nephilim Free is the guy that believes that Eve slept with snakes, and MP says Pillbox says that he does not follow Nephilim Free, so it's another person that they're referencing. Also, please have fun watching the camera angles that Tanya does when she's been drinking. It's the most funniest thing ever.
FM free has nothing to do with my education.
Yes,
Absolutely
yes,
not.
It does.
I'm sorry. Stop speaking for me. Eve, stop speaking for me. I'm the tolerant
Give a
person here.
fuck.
I'm
You
a tolerant. What are you talking
You
about?
are with
I'm the
this
taller
guy
person.
often, and you
Yeah, you spend
act
far
as
too
if
much time with him.
what he
Pillbox.
presents is
Not good for you.
truth, and it's not. Pillbox. Shit.
Very
Some
bad.
of the listen. Let's relax. Can we just stop? Can we just stop for a
because you
second?
hang with dishonest people.
Pillbox.
Oh my goodness, Lord, Eve. Yes.
Not get that Pillbox. Come on,
Pillbox.
fuck on.
You know what I
Pillbox.
want
What is the significance of turtles and dinosaurs having both been fossilized together?
That's what I'm asking.
Can I fucking talk just for one
Hey,
second?
Pillbox,
Why are you re-asking the question to me?
You honestly think a God fucking pooped everything in existence? Are you fucking? Do you? Do you?
No, you're right. You're right. I think nothing proved everything into existence. That makes way more sense.
Yes, it does. Naturally,
Yeah, it
What's the
does.
definition?
naturally, it would, because there's no reason behind it.
not
But naturally, it would. But you want to fucking put a reason behind it because of your goddamn emotions, Pillbox. That's
Goddamn
why.
emotions.
Come
Eve,
on,
I'm trying to be
Pillbox.
the tall.
You're fucking smarter than this shit. Quit being a guy.
I just want to point out how Pillbox keeps saying, I'm trying to be the tolerant one here. And it was just really weird to see Pillbox actually the calm one, because it's usually like him going monkey, 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 and pedo, 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 pedo. And it was really weird because he's actually calm in this one.
Goddamn troll, man.
I'm being a troll now. I'm trying to help you.
No,
Back to you,
no,
Eve. What are you kicking me now?
You're impressing me now with your patience, the God-given patience.
Lobster's just gone quiet.
Way. No, I'm serious. Well, let me talk for 1 second. Let me just say something, okay? I appreciate the patience you're
I
showing.
love the
I really do.
camera
I
angles.
notice it. I'm aware of it.
It's just
But
eyes
I
looking
want to
at you.
know, why isn't anybody talking about what I'm saying? I don't want to fucking die, okay? Stephen Hawking, let me give you an example. That motherfucker cannot move, okay? He hasn't had sex since 1970, okay? He can still do a lot of shit, and he feels, and he laughs, and he has
Human
emotions,
emotions.
and he is glad he is alive, okay? Now, that is what I'm saying. I don't want to fucking die, okay? And if there is a God who is out there who is willing to let me not die, then I really want to fucking know about that, okay? I really do, but I haven't seen any evidence to suggest that there is a life after this one.
You know what's weird? A lot of theists are driven by eternal life as being the main driver, that there should be a life, next life after this one. And some theists are driven by purpose. My life now has a purpose. I think most are, honestly. And some theists are driven by retribution. And some theists are driven by like a restorative justice, like a cosmic restorative justice. So it's interesting whenever I hear somebody like say what would entice them to believe in a God, and apparently for Tanya it's an afterlife, which is interesting.
That's it. I wish people would talk about
Tanya,
that, please.
can I leave that suffering in any kind of way by proposing to you that there might be a scientific solution to that? Can I leave that little bit of suffering? I understand how you feel. I want to live longer.
I'll take it any way it can be given to me, honestly.
You want to live longer. I get that. I feel that too, and I think every human being does. That's a part of us. I think that's why the human or the God concept is easy.
Actually, not every human wants to live forever. I think it was Ingmar Bergman that said oblivion is bliss. The idea that going to nothing is actually quite appealing for him. And I think for me, like the idea of dying and then nothing isn't that terrifying to me for some reason. I don't know why.
For people to fucking accept. But it's bullshit.
people
It's a false. It's a false.
Of course it is.
What about the realistic aspects
Nobody wants to die.
can
Guys,
science
Eve,
can science produce it?
Nobody wants to
Eve,
die.
let me ask you what I think is true. Can I ask a question real quick? Has science? Can I please ask a question, please, Eve?
Go ahead.
Okay, I just need everybody to be quiet for about 15 seconds or I'm going to get cut off because my connection is just absolute cat shit right now. Okay, my question is, what has science give us for the origins of things such as, has science given us the origins of time, space, matter?
No, it
But
has
it
not.
explains
I can
it.
answer
Anything,
you
right?
right now. I can answer you right now. No, it does not. But it does not make God
Okay.
more plausible.
No.
Thank you.
Understand that?
What science has given
Pillbox?
me, wait, let me answer him. What science
ahead.
has given me to even consider the possibility of living past my old decrepit body, okay, is relativity. Okay? That is a scientific fact. And that's why I was so argumentative earlier where I don't give a shit about philosophical. I really don't. I only
Someone
Patrick,
save-
can you mute?
Someone
Sorry.
save Grampy.
I only
Go ahead.
care about what can be proven scientifically. Only something that I can know is for sure. Okay? All of this fantasy about God and faith and all that, that's not doing it for me anymore. It's not. Okay? Now, relativity, that is something that I might be able to think about. And that is something that would let me live a lot longer than my body in this world. You see what I'm saying?
Here's the thing,
Yes,
Pillbox.
ma'am. Absolutely understand, yes.
Pillbox, here's the thing. If you accept your God view or a more common Christian view, then it would be contradictory to not go against natural science and what science is doing today. So,
But I believe in natural science. I believe in the ecosystem, in symbiosis, in the gene pool, in entropy. I believe in science. That's all I study, Eve.
okay, well let me put it this way, Pillbox.
If you're not familiar, the science that Pillbox also believes in is flat Earth and creationism in the most fundamentalist form of creationism. Like, on the seventh day, God rested and created all creation, the universe, within the 6 days.
What the biblical view offers is a fantasy type of a non-realistic type of hope for extension of life, where science actually exhibits an actual hope, an actual realistic possibility for the extension of human life.
Yes, full disclosure. At the time, Tanya and Eve were both anti-theists. Their positions have changed since then, and they both were drunk. At the time, there were a lot of drunken hangouts late at night. And just so you're aware, in retrospect, I'm like, they're drunk, so they probably would have been less angry at the time. When I came into this hangout, I actually came in without noticing that they were drunk. I didn't go back enough to see. Nowadays, I probably wouldn't have well, I don't know. It depends. I would have probably taken a different approach if I knew somebody was intoxicated at the time. So yes, they both are at least tipsy, I would say.
Do you understand that?
Can I ask you? You clearly you do take an interest in science, and you've got all this understanding of science.
I guess I must have broke up a little bit, Eve. But there's more than one person talking, so it just kind of cuts off. It's hard to hear.
You do
Sorry.
understand that your point of view is all about the life after this one, instead of considering this one as genuine and beautiful, right?
I consider that I have to do what I'm supposed to do here, but I still have to try, Eve. I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna fail my God because I'm not gonna be good enough. But I still have to try.
This current life
Yes,
is devalued in the Christian viewpoint. I'm sorry, it is.
I would argue that yes, for some that is the case, and for others there isn't. She's making anti-theist points because at the time she's an anti-theist. There is a quote from To Kill a Mockingbird saying that, you know, people spend so much time, you know, worrying about the next life that they are messed up on this life. And you know, like it's more eloquent than that, but I'm just kind of, you know, footnoting it. And you know, that is a problem sometimes, and it's unfortunate.
In a sense, that could be true. Yes, ma'am. That could be true. Yes.
Yes, thank you for admitting that.
But can I ask Pillbox a question, please?
Come on.
Can I ask Pillbox a question, please? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, I'm just hanging on by a thread, Annabelle. I'm just hanging.
So Pillbox, flat earther, fundamentalist. Annabelle is an anti-theist too, and Annabelle is not drunk.
You
You can,
I'm
Annabelle.
trying to hear. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm curious.
Yes.
'Cause you know, you know, you and I have our fallouts, you know, under videos, but you clearly do take an interest in science. You're clearly a smart guy. Do you understand why we get confused when you can take on board some scientific theories and some scientific methods, but then you posit the idea of a God creating humans from a rib and some dust?
Yes, ma'am. It doesn't seem very right, does it? It does seem kind of stupid, right?
Well, okay, I'm going to give you. I'm going to say to you, it's not stupid. Of course, it isn't. And even I'm not sure of the word stupid. It's a like Tonya says, it's a fantasy, or Eve says, it's a fantasy.
Right,
you know,
right.
that's what it is to me.
It's not that it's stupid. That's not what I'm saying anyway. It's not.
No,
that
I
it's-
didn't say it was either, but I'm just saying.
So wait, it's like literature itself. Literature is very beautiful because what literature does is it uses language to define shit, no matter metaphorically, figuratively, no matter even if it's realistically, it uses it to define shit. And here's the thing: the hopes of humanity is defined within Christianity. But the problem is it reality or is it false hopes? That's the
Yes, ma'am. That's a
problem.
great question. That's a great question. You're absolutely right. That's an intelligent question. Even you have every right to ask that question, and you are being an honest person. There's nothing wrong with that question. I agree with you.
But are you honest enough to admit that you might be wrong about it? That you
No,
might
because
be
now I
deceived
know
about it.
too much. No, Eve, because I
Right,
know too
exactly.
much now. Let me tell you what I found.
Oh my gosh, I'm muted. Oh my goodness, I'm so muted. I'm so sorry. I was just gonna point out. Thank you, Dee. I was just gonna point. I fail. I'm the worst. I just wanted to point out that a lot of Christians double down and they're afraid to express that they could be wrong, that they might struggle with doubt. And a lot of Christians pressure other Christians to not say that they have doubt. If they say that they're doubt, they'll condemn them. They will quote, you know, you shouldn't be like a wave tossed to and fro from the sea. And or maybe you're a weak Christian, maybe you should, like there's all sorts of reasons why a lot of Christians will not express that they have doubt. I have to say, in my experience when I worked in church, most Christians have doubts. Most Christians have doubts about, is this God a really, truly good, loving God? Most Christians have doubts about, am I right? Why are there so many religions? Most Christians have normal doubts. The problem of evil. Why does a good God allow evil things to happen? These are actually pretty common. But Christians, particularly on the internet, seem to be really afraid to say, yes, I have some doubts. And could you be wrong? Could you be wrong about this God? Could you be wrong about your faith? No, because like now they feel like they have to, basically kind of crucify themselves and kind of be the martyr and be like, no, I'm going down with the ship, because that's what true faith is. And so there is a huge pressure to not say, yes, I could be wrong. So when you ask that question, even with progressive Christians, they're very reluctant to say that because, well, there's a lot of pressure not to.
Find out. Let me tell you what I know. Let me tell you what changed me. Let me tell you, Eve. Let me tell you what changed me. Once I found out that the dating methods were all a scam, I woke up. That's how it works.
Okay, so even if all of that was true, that proves the Christian God, pillbox. Come the fuck on.
No, it does not. You got me. No, you got me. No, listen, wait. Let me answer. Wait,
Pillbox,
you're right.
No, shut the fuck up.
Let me guys. Listen, Eve's right. Listen, guys.
Pillbox, come the fuck on. You know you're
Can I
fucking smarter than this shit. And this is
Can I please answer the question?
No, this is what bothers me about most
I'm agreeing
Christians.
with you. You're not letting me speak.
No,
I'm agreeing with you.
Let me
I'm trying to agree with you. If you just want to kick me, just kick me, Eve. I'm trying to agree with you. I'm trying to agree with you. If you want to kick me, just kick me. I'm trying to agree with you.
Let me fucking finish.
You can kick
Okay,
me.
well then let me finish.
Pillbox, stop it.
It sucks that I have to see other people that I care about, even if I don't know them. I still care about people. I have empathy. I love people. And it sucks that I have to see people degrade themselves and downgrade themselves to the point of a Christian aspect to feel any validity for this life. In a Christian aspect, pillbox, I don't even get it. I really don't.
Let me tell you something, Eve. You are right. What I just said does not prove Christianity. You're 100% right. Can I move on now?
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. You got me, guys. All of you are right about this. Everything I just said, even I can disprove the dating methods, I can disprove evolution. It does not prove Christianity right. You got me on that. Let me just say one thing.
I wouldn't even agree with you on all that, but go ahead.
Right, let me just say, about a year ago, you might know this, Eve, and I'm going to get cut off. If I get cut off, just let me know, and I'm going to have to repeat some of the things I'm saying because this connection is absolutely cat shit. Okay, about a year ago, guys, and just hear me out real quick, guys. If
I want to let you know, I went back to show the pillbox part of this hangout because I thought it was actually one of the most interesting hangouts where I saw pillbox interact, because he wasn't as disingenuous as usual, and he wasn't as inflammatory as usual, and it was interesting to watch.
you can just, I know that the jackasses are gone, so I don't have to worry about them interrupting me, but try to mute if you can. A year ago, I was at a place with my client, and you probably know what I'm talking about, Eve, because I take care of disabled people. Or I did for a year, and most of them are nonverbal. Some have autism, some have HRX syndrome, some have Angelman syndrome, and that is my job.
It is confirmed that he works with disabled children, and it's also confirmed that he does landscaping.
Client was 27 years old. He's an autistic kid. To me, he's a child. He's 27 years old. His name is Zane. I love the kid. He's a beautiful kid, and he was such a hassle for other people. They couldn't handle him. So of course, once Pillbox got onto the scene, they said, "Here, have this guy." And I said, "Oh." And the next thing I knew is I fell in love with the kid, and it changed my life, and it opened my eyes. And I had no idea that I was going to fall in love with an autistic 27-year-old man that couldn't use the bathroom by himself. Okay,
That's
so
right,
we go to this place. We go to a Fat Burger. And I take my client into the Fat Burger, and my client's sitting down and eating it, and I noticed that there's something going on in the corner of the store, and we have this manager there, one of the managers for our operation. I know I just got cut off. This operation, of course, we're providers. We're caring for sick, disabled people. This guy actually teaches CPR, okay? And he's standing over by this lady, and I notice he's on the phone, and one of my friends is saying, oh, there's something wrong. This guy's messed up. And this lady, we think this lady's like dying or she had a heart attack. So I'm like, wait a minute, I could tell right away something was definitely seriously wrong. And I left my class, I said, Giant, that was what her call sign was. She just had this nickname. Her name was Giant. She's actually a small lady. I said, Giant, watch my guy's name real quick. I run over to this lady, and this guy who actually teaches CPR is just standing next to this lady on the phone with the paramedic saying, yeah, I guess she's not breathing, and yeah, you need to send an ambulance. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I went up to this lady and I touched her, and she felt cold. And I took her and I said, oh my God, this lady's already in my mind, I'm thinking, oh my God, this lady's dead. I grab this lady, I take her off the chair, I put her on the ground, and I started to perform CPR on this lady. Okay.
You know everything that you've already stated to this point, Pillbox, is emotion. You already know that, right?
You're absolutely right. You got me again.
Continue? You want to continue?
Yep, you got me again. You're right.
Do you want to continue?
Yes. Can I please?
Go ahead, continue. Go ahead.
So I took this lady, and she's about 75 years old, and I put her on the ground, and all of a sudden I get this feeling over my body, like, this is normal for you. Now you're in your zone. Do what you got to do, Pillbox. And I said, okay. And I started pumping this lady's lungs full of air so hard that shit was spraying out of her nose onto my face. And I kept pumping her, and I put my hands on her chest, and I'm pumping her heart for her because she's dead, and I'm putting my mouth on her corpse trying to breathe for this lady. Well, let me tell you.
Actually, I want to point out that in my CPR class, if shit's coming flying out of people's face and you're pumping so hard, you're pumping too hard. They don't tell you to pump that hard. Maybe, get recertified. Cool? All right, cool.
Right then and there, that dude let that lady die, and I could not save her. And ever since then, I have known God very well, as I failed to save somebody.
No, you have not known God. You have known something that you wanted to feel important about, and I don't blame you, Pillbox. You wanted to save that life.
Listen, you gotta let me finish. Let me finish, please, though. Let me finish.
Okay,
The point is that I couldn't save this lady, and it was a horrible experience. Do you think I wanted to feel the vomit of a corpse on my face as I'm breathing? No, but you know what? Thank you, God, for giving me that experience, because now I know what I'm here to do. I know what I'm here to do on this earth.
So it's about you now? So it's about you now, right?
It's about the realization. No, it's about the realization of why I'm here. No, it's about the realization. Can you shut up? Hey, excuse me, asshole. Shut up. Excuse me, faggot. Shut up.
You want to know?
In enters Simos. I love Simos. He's one of my favorite people ever. But he's like, no, you shut up.
Excuse me.
What you did, Pillbox.
Excuse me. I'm not done. Excuse me, I'm not done. Can I finish what I'm saying without some reprobate asshole interrupting me?
Simon, let him finish. Let him
finish. Finish what I'm saying, asshole. Reprobate, shut your mouth, coward. You have no idea who you're talking to. You have no idea who you're talking to, coward. Shut your mouth.
Finish. Shut the fuck up. I've already told him to shut up. Go ahead, Pillbox. Go ahead.
Man, you piece of shit reprobates are such cowards. The point is, I understand. The point is, I understand.
No need for that.
The point is, Eve, I understand things now that.
Just point of clarification. The woman that was 75 years old did die. And I think what the people wanted to do is let her die in peace. You're correct. But Pillbox was like, no, you're not going to die on my watch, as Wilson points out. And it's a real dramatic story to say that he then saw, I guess, the futility of a life without an eternity, I guess, is what he's getting at. And there are no happy endings, apparently.
I didn't before. No, I am a piece of shit, but I am here to do a job, and that is what God wants me to do.
No, you're not a piece of shit.
Yes.
Where do you get this idea that you're a piece of shit?
religion teaches you that you're
Yeah, that's what religion teaches you.
And
That you're a
that's
piece of
what
shit. Where do you even get that idea? Hold on. And not only that.
the woman died because she
Because I'm related to people like that. I'm related to people like that. That piece of shit that had to interrupt me. That's why I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's my friends. That's what happened.
Listen to me, pillbox. Maybe that woman had bad genes. Maybe she ate really fucking terrible. Maybe every meal she ate was like,
Maybe she was just old. She was 75 years old. Like, you can die really easy at that age between 75 and 80. Maybe she was just old. Maybe she didn't do anything like eat fast food for a day. Maybe she didn't shanny herself. That's right. That's so rude.
fried or something. Okay, maybe she had a heart attack. Maybe that's what it was. You are
But
not.
I'd also like to say, Tonya, that we'd all do that.
The problem is that religion teaches you that you are a piece of shit in this world, and you have no reason to believe.
And it teaches you that you're responsible.
Hold
Hold on 1 second.
That is telling you that you're a piece
1
of shit.
second. It also
Bible
teaches
is the
you.
only thing telling you you're a piece of shit.
It also
It's the
teaches
only thing.
Can I just point?
So many conversations going on.
You haven't been eating fried foods.
No, can I just be special?
Let me also say that it also takes.
That's such a weird assumption. Like, that you haven't been eating fried foods. Like, well, maybe she was just 75. I mean, come on. This is so weird. Like, it's just the weirdest interaction ever. And it just gets weirder and weirder. And Simon has had a few drinks, I'm sure, but Simon's just like, what?
Teaches you.
Simos, like, I don't know what you were thinking right then, but I remember you getting on camera and laughing later.
Then
also teaches you
good
that you are responsible.
Let Tanya finish. Let Tanya finish. Go ahead, Tanya.
It's because you have a healthy lifestyle that you are alive. Okay? It's not because you're a piece of shit and you could die at any moment. No.
No, it's listen. Here's why I can. Let me finish this before I put this off, guys, because I only got about 20 seconds left. Tanya, yes, you're right. You are absolutely right.
Serbs in the chat, you can tell me how many people die with healthy lifestyles? Like, I think quite a lot of people actually manage to die with healthy lifestyles. There's all sorts of things you can die of. You could fall off your bike and break your neck. Like, I mean, healthy lifestyle, people can have a healthy lifestyle and not realize that they had a heart murmur all this time. And, it doesn't mean that you ate fried food when you die at 75. It's just a really odd jump.
So is he to talk about one thing. You're both right. Listen,
You're
guys,
cutting
you're
up.
both right.
You're cutting up.
I know. Listen. Okay, listen, guys, you're both right in the fact that I'm not a piece of shit. The reason I feel I am is because that human being who actually taught CPR didn't even try to help this lady. And because I'm a human, just like everybody else who's a piece of shit.
Who the fuck, if your God existed, pillbox, who the fuck let her fucking act like that anyway? Who
I'm gonna
the fuck
fail. I'm still
let
gonna
her
try.
go dead to begin with? Okay?
The only
You
reason
even fucking consider that?
is your Bible.
Oh, I want to point out at the time I was playing with different avatars and my avatar would constantly change. Sometimes I'd put my face up or sometimes I'd put random things up. Shout out to Mothra. This is actually, if you can look in the right-hand corner between Eve and Annabelle on the right is a Mothra. That is Mothra with a little halo over it. And so I can't ever use Mothra again because we now have a Mothra. But I did have that icon once in a while because I thought it was funny. And super random. I don't know. There's something about Mothra that's just inherently funny to me.
If your God existed, who the fuck is letting these people die to begin with?
What about the 6,000 people that died in Nepal over the last week? What did you give about that?
God damn, fucking pillbox.
Life isn't fair, guys. Life isn't fair. I'm sorry.
You're right. Life isn't fair.
There's so
Don't
much
fucking
yelling.
talk about it.
So I do want to point out I come in right here and at the time my position was quite different. I was far more naive on the internet and I used my real name and said Holy Spackle. And I came in on a dare if you haven't seen the first part of this video, I came in as a dare. Holy spackle, you should come in this hangout. And I didn't see that previous interaction. I just slid in at the very end of it. And so I hadn't figured out the level of maybe toxicity and many levels, both alcohol and other ways, that was rising as much as I expected. But I was dared to go in here, so I said, okay, let's have at it. Right. And my positions have changed. Annabelle's going to put out a position that I don't hold anymore, actually. But I just want to let you know, this was 2015. My positions changed. eYou's positions changed. Tanya Galaxy's positions changed. Even Tanya, fast forward, just so you know, they are now fundamentalists again. They're fundamentalist Christians again. So, like, they left anti-theism and went backwards. Or forwards, depending on how you feel.
Right, life isn't fair. You're right. Life isn't fair. Chalk it up to reality, and don't chalk it up to some fictional character up there that's looking out for fucking people.
You think they didn't get enough
no fucking such
they are pieces of shit?
Quit giving people false hope. God damn it!
See, that's the difference between atheists and theists.
Fine, you can execute me. You can judge me. Cast your stones away.
You know,
that's the difference.
No. Listen to me, motherfucker. This over humble shit isn't going to get you into heaven either. Sorry to break it.
There's no such place as heaven.
Talk about your
Would you rather people fucking know the reality?
Died.
Be able to deal with it?
Right? Got stabbed in the ribs, right? Died, broke his legs so he wouldn't have to suffer on the cross, right? And you think your oval, humble motherfucking ass who
I feel
the woman who was dying is going to get to heaven? You think you're over humble? No, motherfucker. Those kids who are in Africa right now, dying right now,
Tanya.
And you didn't do shit for them.
I feel different about fucking pillbox. I think that you're fucking smart enough to fucking know this goddamn shit, man.
It's disgusting.
And how long are you gonna put it off?
Jesus.
How long are you gonna put your own faults? Are you gonna put your own faults and what you feel like you could have done and you didn't, which is probably not even your fault, on the God? How long are you gonna fucking do that shit and live with it? How long are you gonna fucking deal with shit that's gonna emotionally affect your ass instead of fucking deal with the real prospects of everything?
Oh no, she didn't. Oh no,
Simos.
You are absolutely right. I'm going to continue to deal with it the rest of my life, Eve.
If you choose pillbox to act as if this is some fucking force that you don't know, just so you don't have to fucking deal with the reality and the harshness of reality, I can see why you would go that way.
I have to deal with it every day.
With it. You know
That's
what?
I do.
You know what, pillbox? It's better. It is better to fucking deal with the real shit than to fucking pretend.
That's right.
Are you serious?
You're damn right. That's what I do. I deal with real shit. That's what I do. I agree 100% with you.
I love how he's just agreeing. Yes, I agree.
Pretend for people to think that things are different than what they really are.
There ain't no pretending here.
People face reality for what it is.
This is the real thing, Eve.
Are you fucking serious?
Eve, the real thing, baby.
You know
I'm
that
so
this
sorry.
illusion
This
is
the
what
real
causes
thing.
people
This is
not
the real
to get
thing.
help for people. Do you understand that shit?
I just want to point out from here on out, it's about ready to go full Tanya and Eve out here. You know how it's full G-Man? Well, there was a full Tanya and Eve every so often. And it gets interesting.
Yes, I understand. And this is the real thing.
Hey, shut the fuck up. Do you understand that the religious belief is what causes people to ignore the fact that people need medical attention? Do you understand that, pillbox?
Eve, some of us who are religious.
I think that's wrong. And you know what? I feel sorry about that. You're absolutely right. People do stupid things. People do stupid things, Eve, and you're right. And I'm just going to keep living the real life, and I'm going to keep trying to do everything I can, even if I keep failing.
And
There's
who
nothing that's
the
gonna change.
fuck? Who the fuck
Who's
just
telling
came
you
in
you're
here?
failing?
Who the
God.
fuck just came in here and tried to say, Eve, do you not understand that some of us are religious? Who the fuck just came in here and tried to do
Let
that?
that person finish. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Eve, hi, my name is Deidre, and I would be considered a moderate or progressive Christian.
Okay.
I care about equal rights.
What's going on, Deidre?
I am pro-gay marriage, which is going to upset pillbox. I am okay with evolution. I believe in science. I believe in medicine. But here's the
Pillbox.
thing. I'm giving you a quick rundown. I believe that for me, following Christ's example has caused me to become a more compassionate, caring person. And I do care about
that's all
people's medical
good.
care.
And that's all good when it comes to medical, right?
You really think it took Christ to teach you to be more compassionate than that?
I'm talking about my own story, Tanya. By the way, there's all this claim about fundamentalists that you don't stand your ground with atheists. That's not true. And there's other instances where like I would like do, you know, like we go back and forth a lot. But like this notion that G-Man says that like I never like stood up to them or jumped in to say, hey, I think this is the truth. Like that would be a lie. So I just want to know, like, when you hear Veckel and G-Man make that claim, that would be untrue. I'm talking about my own story.
Help people who are starving. You think it took Christ to really teach you that? Really, that's what I want to know.
Can I just also point out that Deirdre hasn't, you know, I was listening to Deirdre last night, and Deirdre doesn't seem to have too much of an issue with the 42 children being slaughtered by God either. So, I mean, you know, Deirdre,
I said I submit
Wow.
to God, knowing, and as an all-knowing creator, I submit to Him. There are
Knowing
things
the ultimate
that
purpose, right?
there are
No.
things
Yeah.
that I emotionally grapple. My position's changed. I think that humans are struggling to know God, but they can't really truly know God in an intimate way. And I think that people attribute a lot of things to God that necessarily don't belong. So my my position is now Christian deism, basically, which is God interacts rarely, if at all. With there are things I emotionally grapple with. Yes, absolutely.
So you,
I gotta go. I gotta go.
that's your way of fucking
Okay, I appreciate your time, Eve.
using
Don't go.
shit.
Even Tanya, thank you for letting me.
Excuse your fucking stupid bullshit that don't even fucking comport with reality. Go ahead and excuse your bullshit that don't comport with reality. That just only goes to show your fucking moral position, which is sad and sick. And I wish that people would have woke my ass up when I was in your position. You should fucking wake up to your fucking shit that you're in.
Well, you've got to.
All right, Eve, I guess we'll have to talk later, Eve. I appreciate you letting me be on the show. Thanks again, Annabelle and Tanya, for putting up with me. I know that it's difficult, and I apologize for offending anybody, but I'm going to go back to the real world because I have no choice. That's what I'm here to do.
Thank you, Pillbox.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Hey, and I hope you consider what was talked about here.
Before you go, you and I,
Honestly.
can I just finish, please? Can I speak?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. I want to just say something to Pillbox.
Listen to everything you have to say.
Hold on.
Yes, ma'am.
Hold the fuck on. Annabelle wants to say something.
Thank you. Pillbox, even though you and I fall out all the time, I really do admire what you do, or what you've done with your work with autistic children, you know, adult children, and I'd love to do what you do, but I don't have the guts. I haven't got the patience, and I don't think I could do the, you know, changing and clearing up after them. And I just think it's something I've always wanted to do, and I didn't know that you did that, and I really admire you for that. So I'm not
that's an admirable, yes.
Really sure
Well,
how, but
I thank you. I thank you, Annabelle, and I know that there's a good heart in everybody. I know even that people that hate me, I know that they have a good heart, and I know that there's a lot of love out there.
This was an unusual interaction too, because fundamentalists usually typically don't say, I know that there's a good heart in there. So a lot of progressive Christians, Orthodox Christians will say the Imago Dei, that there's like, God's created you and there's goodness in you and in all people, right? Because we're all created in the image of God. And fundamentalists will often say, no, we're not in the image of God until after you become a Christian, then you're in the image of God. And people are nothing but filthy rags and garbage and sinful and blah, blah, blah. So it's interesting to hear somebody say to atheists and anti-theists, I know you have a good heart, because that is incredibly rare for fundamentalists to say. And I always thought that was a little bit unusual. Wanted to point that out. I don't know if he would say that ever again.
For people that hate me, and I don't know how to reach a lot of you, but I'm still trying, and I'm gonna fail. 90% of the time, there's nothing I can do about that. I'm just here to do what I think I have
Well,
to
you
do,
know
guys.
what, Pillbox, we might be
Right,
trying
right,
to reach you, and you might be the one that's wrong, Pillbox. I've been on both sides of the fence. Have you ever
That's
took
fine.
that into
That's fine.
consideration?
Okay.
Pillbox,
Yes, ma'am.
have you
Yes,
ever
ma'am.
took that
Yes,
into
ma'am.
consideration? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Amen, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
And hey, pillbox, all the bullshit aside, you and I have always understood each other. You know what I'm saying?
Understood each
I do-
other.
I
Got a
appreciate
little love going on there, Tonya.
it. Is Annabelle.
Yeah.
I'm loving. Let me love.
Tanya has known a lot of these funnies for a long time.
I have no new.
Well, look, atheist bestiality.
I just want to let pillbox know.
Can I? Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Tanya. I appreciate your love. I feel love from you and Eve. Honestly, even when Eve is yelling at me, I can tell it's coming from love. I'm not stupid. When
It's
Eve is
coming
pissed
from
at
me caring. Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
I
And
don't
can
never
tell that.
fucking
Exactly.
I do not ever fucking yell out of hatred. I yell because
Exactly.
I care about the people in this world. That is what I yell about.
Because he knows that.
I do think that a lot of her yelling is based on certain experiences and how she feels that it actually did harm people. I remember talking to her after this incident, and I do think that there is a caring person there, but it is pretty overboard. So like now it's calmed down again, and then it's gonna get crazy again because I don't know why.
Right, exactly, Eve. I can tell when you're yelling at me, Eve, that you're loving, and it upsets you and it hurts you that things go the way they do, and you're yelling at me out of love, and that's why I will never, ever, ever be upset with you.
Yes,
you're talking
and
to me.
that's why.
This is before I knew who Mowdy was at all, and so this is actually the first time I've seen Christopher Mowdy. Like that was the first time he showed up, and it was like a massive shit show. So yeah.
Such
You
a
should
joke to be had
probably,
here.
and that's why Pillbox. Hey, that's why you should probably question the intentions of your Old Testament God. Just letting you know.
Screams of passion.
Yes, ma'am.
Screams of passion.
And by the way, again, guys, I'm going to host a show on Monday. We're going to talk about this. I'm just letting you know. I want you guys. Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Hold on 1 second.
He's almost gone.
I gotta get out of here. I'm sorry. I'm gonna host a show. I'm hosting a show on Monday. Okay, listen, guys. I'm hosting a show on Monday. Unlock Planet. We're gonna talk about this, whether you show up or not. I hope you guys do. You guys can ask any questions you want. I might even have some of you come on there. I appreciate you guys for giving me the benefit of the doubt. I know you guys don't agree with me. I know you guys don't agree with me at anything, but I appreciate the love.
This is when he had a conspiracy theory channel, and that's when Rose came into the mix. Now she was precious.
From Tanya and Eve and even Annabelle, even though I've never had a good conversation with Annabelle, she has shown her
I've never had a
goodness
good
and
conversation with Annabelle.
And I appreciate your guys' time, and I'm going to get out of here, and you can hit me up. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
All right, Monday. I would love to be there.
All right, God bless you guys.
All right.
Have a good night, Spaghetti Slinging Christopher.
Good night, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
y'all. Hey, y'all.
Bye.
Can I just say,
Reprobate.
can I speak real quick? And I just want to say hello to Chris Mowdy.
Christopher Mowdy. Look at you.
Yes, Chris, you have entered a drama-filled hangout here.
But you know what I want to say to Deidre, who's here.
Hey, Tanya, good to meet you. I've never met you before.
It's nice to meet you.
I know Wolf, I know Gus, I know Annabelle and Simon, but I don't. Eve is my first time, so I'm a little nervous. You guys are
No,
intense.
That's okay.
No,
I don't mean to make you feel. I don't want to make you feel unwelcomed or anything.
she does that to people.
She does that to people.
I know. Pillbox and I fight. I fight with
I
others.
am going to be very questionable about your position. That's just how I am. That's why I'm on the internet to question your position.
I understood.
Can I talk to Deidre for a second?
Yes, you can.
Okay. So yes, Eve is very blunt, and
yes,
I love it. Okay, I've known her for like a long time, so her and I, like, you know, we can talk about whatever the fuck, and it's cool. But listen, I have a question for you, because you came in here and you said that knowing Jesus is what kind of made you, like, you know, compassionate towards other people. So my question
Friday we learned.
You gotta mute.
The fuck is talking.
You gotta mute, Grampy.
It was not a switchblade.
Grampy, you gotta mute.
Under Maryland law.
A transport van driven by Officer Caesar Goodson arrives. The officers placed.
We don't
hear you, Tanya. Stand by.
Tanya's just going on.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry.
That happened, and I'm sorry.
I don't think that guy meant it. And hey, if you're watching, one second, Tanya. If you're watching, I'm sorry, I ejected you because you cannot mute in time. And Tanya's trying to get a point out.
Grampy just got thrown out of the airlock.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's needed. So go ahead, Tanya.
Thank you. And yeah, that sucks. And you know, and debating like theism against non-theism is very passionate. And you know, it's just the way it is. You know. But anyway, you came in here and you said that Jesus is the reason that you started feeling compassionate towards people, and I understand that because I used to be a Christian, and I remember there was a time when I was a Christian that I started, and I'm drunk. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you, like I'm drunk. I've been drinking, and I'm just fucking
noted. So what's gonna happen, because you've been drinking, as I'm gonna try to not get you too excitable. But yeah, go ahead.
So okay. So I remember a time. I remember the specific time that I was in my van driving down the road, and you know, listening to Christian music. So that's what I did. And I remember a time where, oh, well, you shut up. Let me finish. I remember a time. I'm gonna make it quick.
Was it DC talk? Come on, you can tell me.
Where like I felt like this compassion towards people that maybe, and I say maybe with emphasis, okay? Maybe I didn't feel before. And it was that, okay, let's say I come across some homeless people, right? Who needed help.
I'm starting to wonder if things get a little too wild in Hangouts if Grampy always turns on the TV and just leaves.
And
you just gave him a track and said Jesus loves you, and then walked away.
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, that plus what I'm about to say. Plus, I didn't give a shit what their past was. Like, okay, maybe they were meth addicts. Maybe they were addicts, right? Trying to overcome their.
You know, Shani has taught me that you don't need Jesus forgone to be a meth addict. No, just kidding. Allegedly.
Fucking addiction, and I know what addiction is like. I do. Okay? I'm not going to get into much detail about that, but I do. And the people who know me know what I'm talking about.
If you beat the addiction, props to you.
So, thank you. Thank you.
God, I used to say props 5 years ago.
I understand that, and I understand not judging somebody based on them being in a low point in their life or whatever. And I remember it was like Christian music. It was playing, and I was like feeling this love for the people. And I was thinking to myself, it doesn't matter why they need my help. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm going to help these people because I love them. And I did, and I do. And I thought it was Jesus.
I really love the emotion that she has when she's been drinking, and the camera angle with the eyes, and just her. I love those people. It just always cracks me up. Tanya has a few hangouts where she's on where she is just doing the most interesting camera angles while she's talking, and I've always found that really amusing.
that made me feel that way. But now that I am not a Christian, I realize that it wasn't Jesus. And not trying to make you feel bad or whatever. I'm just saying, like, for me, I can see that it wasn't any kind of like religious thing. It was actually like just personal experience, have been through what those
Empathy.
people have probably
Empathy
been through
is what you're looking for.
to, empathize with them or whatever.
May I?
So that's why I was asking you, like, do you really think it's Jesus that makes you empathize with?
Did anyone catch that little "may I" in there? I think Mowdy was going to interject and like start talking about empathy, and that would have been an actual cool conversation. But no, Tanya keeps going.
Them, or do you think it's maybe just some, personal like experience with it or
Something you experience.
Well, I do think there's something to be said. First of all, I'm going to say this straight up. I'm sure all these atheists here have heard this before. Just because you're atheist, you're immoral. Just because you're atheist, you don't have morals. I don't think that's true. I do think that an atheist can have morals. The other thing is I understand the concept of humanism, right? So I usually will get along with the atheist that is the humanist. The atheist that is a nihilist, usually we'll bump heads. But if you're a humanist, usually we can jive together.
I still have problems with nihilists.
So
usually,
there
there's
is such a
exceptions.
thing as
There's
Christian
exceptions.
humanism, and I get knocked for this quite a bit. But C.K. Chesterton is a Christian humanist. Soren Kierkegaard was a Christian humanist. I would consider myself a Christian humanist, somebody that cares about people and is compassionate about people. And I think I think Christ models that image quite a bit when he cares for other people. And so,
oh my goodness, like all the old people are in this one. We have Gus, we have Seth, we have Wolf, we had Grampy in there, we had Annabelle, Pillbox, and there's so many people in this hangout. Even Mowdy. This is quite a gem. This is the old days. It's interesting.
So the greatest
Christ cares about other people.
Yeah, I do believe that.
Oh, so you haven't heard the Christ words about if you aren't against me, or if you aren't for me, you're against me, or his words concerning that. Basically, hold on. I'm gonna actually even look it up.
Well, while you do that, I'll keep going. How about that?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Awesome. All right.
So what's funny there is, yeah, I'm familiar with those verses, but since she wants to like stop and have Bible study, I was like, well, if you want to have Bible study, I'll let you work it out.
All right. So
go look up evilbible.com, come back to me.
So you're laughing at me, but hang on. I do think that you can have compassion without religion. That is possible. But religion reminds you that when you don't feel compassionate, when you don't feel like your heart's in it, when you have compassion fatigue, that you love people anyway. It reminds you of that. It tugs you back.
So hang on a sec. So Deirdre, are you suggesting that?
So you need a Christ character?
Atheists? Are you suggesting that atheists don't have that ability?
I don't think that's what she's.
I'm talking about my experience.
Oh no, I'm just. That's why I'm asking. Are you suggesting that we don't have the ability to pull ourselves back?
I don't know, Annabelle. I actually have a brother who's an atheist who I love very, very much, actually, and I'm actually worried for him in some ways.
I lost that brother last year. I'm almost at the year anniversary, and so it's been actually really hard for me. He did pass away, and it was not a good passing away, and it's been a very traumatic year for me, actually. But that brother that I speak of, and part of the reason why I'm so fascinated with atheism is I was trying to wrap my head around the concept, because for me, I've never had any doubt that there's some sort of creator. It just doesn't. Who that creator is a doubt that I hold, but that there is a creator is something that I just feel intuitive about, and it's something that's still with me. But yeah, part of my drive for these interactions was actually my brother, and I did not remember I mentioned that, and that is true. and it is at his anniversary of the death. So it's actually been pretty rough to lose him because in some ways he filled in the father figure role in my life. He gave me away when I got married, stuff like that. So it's been a rough time. But you know, this was 5 years ago, so here we go.
And so, trust me, it's
whoa. Why are you worried for him? I'm sure
because I believe.
Hey, why did your Christ promote the sword and not peace?
Oh, so you're talking about the one verse where it says, "Sell your cloak and pick up a sword."
No, that's not the verse I'm talking. I'm talking about Luke 12:51. Do you
Luke
suppose that
12:51.
do you suppose that I came and grant peace on earth? I tell you.
Why she went back to being a Christian, she would have to tell you that story. So everybody has their different reasonings and stuff like that. So I couldn't presume to explain that to you. So yeah.
Tell you no, but rather division. Your Christ promotes division, just like any cult leader promotes division.
Here's the thing. I mean, the more you look like Jesus, sometimes there's a certain amount of people, and I'm not going to accuse any of you of this, but there's a certain amount of people that will hate you more.
So I did back then still succumb to the Christian martyr complex. Like it's there. Our you know, Jesus was martyred and killed, and it's ingrained in you. I do apologize. I don't feel that way anymore, but at the time I did. The more you look like Jesus, the more likely you're going to be martyred.
Okay. Well, let's look at
when
this
you
in the
change
aspect of
religion,
reality.
Let's look at this in the aspect of the time it was written.
Let's
yeah. Judaism, they're leaving the Jewish faith for Christianity.
That's a good way to.
So that would divide families.
Hey, hun, that's a good way to excuse it. But let's look at the way that it is today. If you say.
Also, Jesus is predicting upcoming persecution and the fall of Jerusalem there. So, like, there's all sorts of reasons why, like, it would be there. But yeah, I love to talk about scripture. And Todd pointed out that if I am a Christian deist, then the Bible's moot in some ways. Yeah, in some ways. In other ways, it can be helpful. I think it's man trying to understand a God and reaching for spiritual understanding. And I don't think the Bible's perfect.
That my mother and my father, it's not really my mother or my father, which is what Jesus said, basically saying, referring to his own mother, his own Mary mother, in posing that this isn't prostrating a position of division is ludicrous.
So it's interesting to hear an anti-theist talk about division as being bad. So usually when we hear division being bad, we're hearing it from fundamentalists, you know, circle the wagons, Matthew 18, you know, go to your brother in private, you know, hide all wrongdoing to the outside world, show a outward sign of unity, like all that pressure, and division is bad. But the thing is, it's interesting is like, Jesus says division is going to happen, you know, and I'm sorry, but anytime I feel like I, you know, have an opinion, I'm being divisive in some way. Now, there's different ways of being divisive. You can be a divisive, horrible person, jump in everybody's DMs and badmouth everybody and be horrible, or you could be, I have a different opinion. This is my different opinion straight up, and live and let live, you know. But like this whole like circle the wagons, divisive stuff, like you know, must not be divisive Christian unity thing. That's interesting because I think that, you know, it's largely frustrating when people like kind of go that route. Now, it's interesting to see an anti-theist talk about divisiveness because, well, your parents can be wrong. Your parents can be abusers. Your parents can be wrong about something. I think if you particularly, I mean, how many stories do we have of our LGBTQ friends who come out and their parents are horrible to them and disown them or were abusive to them in some way? Like all that kind of stuff, like that's it's going to happen in life. Religion's not even required. It's just religion can sometimes make it worse. A dogma, holding on to deep dogma can make it worse. And so it's kind of an interesting thing to talk about.
Stating that you are either for me or against me. You either yoke with darkness or lightness. I mean, do you not see some problems with this morality that your Jesus supposedly proposes? I mean, everybody has this idea of this Christ in the New Age scripture of this hippie loving Christ, and that's not really what this scripture
Oh, no.
describes
Last
him.
night, Annabelle, as animal witness, I also know that there's a God of justice and a God of wrath, and I'm very aware of that.
So I would bite the bullet somewhat on a lot of the Old Testament, and that might be why one of the many reasons why I would change, because I would be conflicted internally about it. So I would bite the bullet on things like, well, I think Annabelle, the conversation was the bears. I'd go with an apologetic to argue about why the bears eating all of Elijah's children who were mocking him. I would try to explain the story because I wanted to believe that God was good. And because I felt really for sure that God's good all the time, there must be a logical reason of why this would be allowed, because normally killing children wouldn't be allowed. So I went into apologetics about it, and I read what rabbis had said about it. I read what apologists had said about it, and a lot of folks said that these were like young teens, and for some reason I decided that young teens getting eaten by bears was much better than children. And I bit the bullet pretty hard on that, and was trying to defend my God. And what's interesting is the person that flushed me out about that and was calling me to task on that, which I do have that video, and I would talk about that very differently now. But that person is in jail, which is just a kind of funny happenstance. It's weird how that works, right? An anti-theist in jail for something for about 10 years. It was just a weird one. And looking back, I go, wow, it's just the weirdest circumstances that happened there. I do have that video as well where I defend the bears. It's not my position anymore, but I just wanted to be clear that that was my position there. I wasn't joyful about it. I wasn't ecstatic about it, but I thought surely there's some greater cause, some greater reason. This is a God that has all, this is an omni God that has all knowledge, and I would defend that. That too.
Oh, and that's okay with you, right?
Sure. I like I said, there's a human
I want to see
part
where
of
you
me.
fall.
There's a human part of me that grapples with that, and I'm like,
Grapples
oh,
with
why?
what part do you grapple with?
Can I ask you?
Killing of Canaanites, killing of Amalekites, as Sean pointed out
You
last
don't
night.
you don't
Pretty
see
rough.
that, you see that as wrong then. That beats with you as something not.
I emotionally grapple with it. I don't understand it, but I'm willing to submit to the God and say that He knows
No,
better than
what
I
you're
do.
willing to do is excuse it, just like I did for 31 fucking years. That's what you're willing to do.
Yeah, that's basically what I was gonna say, but I was gonna say it softer. But yeah, how do you? And this is what I had a problem with. I'm just gonna be real with you. Like, this is what I had a problem with. This God, who is supposedly, this is the problem. I'm gonna just say it. I'm just gonna fucking say it, okay?
I'm just gonna say it.
This God is supposed to be love. That's the thing. This God is supposed to be the definition of love, and what we know as love to be is to love people past their fucking imperfections, right? You were just describing earlier that that's what Jesus taught you.
Is it to love people past their imperfections? I wish I had caught that definition of love earlier, because I think it's an odd definition.
Was to love people past their difficulties and shit, right? But yet there is this God who is supposed to be all love that still separates people he hates from people he loves.
Hmm.
Now, how is there supposed to be a God who is all loving, all, quote, all loving, but yet hates people? That's the problem I have.
And he is just like a cult leader.
Yep.
He influences you to negate the close people that you have if they do not follow the description that you should follow.
How would you describe negate, please? What do you mean?
Well,
Silence?
Do it.
Ignore?
No,
Cast out?
no. I mean, hold on. Let me get some of this shit. Your Jesus did not just teach love, okay? He taught hatred too. He taught separation.
Yes, he's
Right?
the God of justice. He's not just all love.
Oh, is
He's
that
also
your fucking excuse? Oh,
Is
come
it
on.
my excuse?
So I still believe that love protects. There's some situations where love protects and it pushes those that could do harm out. And so at that time, I was an annihilationist. I believe that eternal life was granted if you accept Jesus as your savior. And I believe that in order to protect the goodness of heaven, the goodness of other people, that love protects, and that eternal life would only be granted to those who accepted Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. I did believe that at the time. I'm no longer an annihilationist. But at the time, that was my stance. And I still am somebody that believes that love protects. I think that it's not loving to accept some of the most abusive behavior in your life, and it's good to have boundaries. And so I was thinking in terms of like in the Bible, when there's like, I'm just explaining my thought process back then. In the Bible, there's like, Jerusalem, and Jerusalem is a protected city with the walls. And then the Bible talks about Gehenna. And when Jesus mentions hell anytime, it's actually the original word is Gehenna, and the reference is Gehenna, not hell. And then it's been interpreted as hell. And Gehenna is outside the city, where, like apologists, at least, and commenters were saying that, it was where refuge and trash was burned outside the city. And so if there was something that would be deeply harmful for the city, it would be cast out into Gehenna. And so I believe that, I still believe love protects, but I don't believe in annihilationism. But to explain my position, that was what my position was back then.
Where does
excuse.
love incorporate justice? Can you define that? And if you can't, then your God doesn't.
Well,
mean
justice is definitely needed in the world today, desperately, is it not?
Justice as far as what? Contributing more hatred? Contributing more hatred? Do you think that's justice? By separating yourself?
Let her answer this question. Where are you, Deidre? And apparently you're supposed to be able to determine where justice is met. Where do you define where justice is met for God? Please.
I do not determine that. I said I yield the ultimate judgment to God. I'm not completely just. I am skewed. I am flawed.
How can you not have a judgment here on earth when you are placed here on earth and your life is here on earth?
Well, we do the best we can, right? Like we'll decide something as a group, as a social group. You and I might decide that stealing is wrong. And we do that as a social group as best as we can.
I just want to point out, if you look in like the left-hand side, third from the left, there's a man that's on camera in black and white, and he's laughing. And he's just getting tickled this entire conversation, laughing. And that is Simos, just laughing the whole way through all of this.
Did you ever realize that your social group shifted when Jesus came along? Does that ever even ring a bell to you?
Where does God find the justice?
Crosstalk. I didn't hear you all the way, Eve.
Okay, let me ask you.
I want to point out how divisive firebrand anti-theism is, and how divisive fundamental Christians are, and how I think they are the mirror of each other. They are the two sides of the same coin. Why I'm not shocked that somebody jumps from fundamentalism to anti-theism in this case, and they go back to fundamentalism because it's so extreme. They take the most extreme views of the Bible, and it's all or nothing. right? It's all or nothing thinking, the most extreme views of the Bible. And what's fascinating is that these folks that move from anti-theism then move back to fundamentalism, where they came from. They came from fundamentalism, went to anti-theism, came back. And positions change. My position's changed since then. This was 5 years ago. And I think it's good to change your position. I think if you're too terrified to change your position, you're in a dangerous situation. But yeah, looking back, I go, wow, like everything was different back then. And it was kind of funny to watch.
I said, do you ever realize that your social consensus here, which is not a
Oh, and what she's saying is your social group changes when you take on Jesus, that you cannot, care about the social, I guess, aspects of the other part of the world. But that's not necessarily true. There's plenty of rich history that says otherwise. So it was kind of interesting to make that big here clear, like here's the line and this is where you go. And I found that firebrand anti-theists and firebrand fundamentalists love to create a line and say, this is my bubble and my club, because it's easier to be in a bubble and you can go out there.
Morality that I adhere to.
Her. I don't give a shit about her social consensus. I'm
just saying,
where is God?
I'm just
in the end, we believe that all will be made right, and things will be made right, and He will be just in the end.
Oh,
and
that's
there will be a
all fine and great.
reconciliation
We
of
would all love for everything to
but
be.
But currently, the world groans. Creation groans right now.
How do you know? How do you know that the world groans?
Look on the news. Look at Baltimore. Look at starving children. Look at the suffering.
Oh yes, the fucking shit that's happened from the beginning.
Hold on,
please.
Warning, Tanya's going to deny all the racial injustices happening in Baltimore and be like, yeah, that's not a thing.
Tell me, how do you even determine that your Bible is true? Please.
Eve,
taste and see that the Lord is good. I don't know. I stepped out.
Tell me how your Bible is true.
For me, I've stepped out in faith. And all I can do is talk about my story.
In fucking Baltimore.
For the starving child in Africa.
Hey, shut the fuck up, y'all. I live in Baltimore County. Okay, I'm here right now when all this shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of unrest there, suffering, isn't it?
Actually, not that much. There's just
some people think.
Well, and you're just going by what the.
So Tanya, I just want to let you know you are white, in case you didn't notice. So yes, it's going to be different for you. You're going to have a whole different perspective, aren't you?
Says I'm
well, forgive us if we're
going. Wait, hold on, Shadow. I love you, but hold on a second.
It wasn't Shadow.
Oh, I saw his picture pop up. I don't know what the fuck. I'm drunk.
That's because I was adjusting my headset.
Okay, I love you anyway with your headset. It's sexy. And your wife, who I love.
Hi, Shadow. Long time no see.
But anyway, look, my point is that I live here. Like, I'm right the fuck in all this shit, okay? And it's not as bad as the fucking news was saying. Big shock, okay? It's not that bad, all right? And my point is, I don't know what.
It's not that bad for a blue-eyed white girl.
What the fuck my point was.
Even if it was? It does not prove your fucking Bible.
No, I'm saying there is suffering in the world. Yeah, obviously.
Okay. No shit.
Damn, really?
That's probably what inspired the authors of your Bible. Okay. So what the fuck?
There's reason every
what reason
right now, and every abortion
reason do you have? Fucking goddamn! Can I fucking?
You know what? You kick her fucking ass. I don't give a fuck.
No, I don't want
me a fucking hater. I don't give a shit. This bitch is full of shit. Her God is all love. Her God is.
Oh, I don't know how it escalated to kick this bitch, but it escalated to kick this bitch. Take a look in the left-hand corner. Look at Simos's face. He's completely snickering right around here. See him? He's laughing this whole time. By the way, Simos is an anti-theist as well. He's just not a firebrand anti-theist. Like he'll hold your feet to the fire, but he's not screaming like this.
It's all love, but all this shit is going on in the world. Where's your fucking God? Where's your fucking God? When my
Hold the fuck
right
on.
now in the
Hold
hospital,
on.
my grandmother Eve, and I haven't told you this yet, Eve, because I didn't want to like lay all my shit on you. But my grandmother,
I don't know why we're going to death right now. Like they just told Pillbox earlier when I started this hangout that he was arguing emotion and that death didn't matter and the fuck off. And here we are arguing emotion, her grandmother.
is in the fucking hospital right now dying. Okay? You think I haven't like prayed, even though I'm a fucking atheist? You think I haven't like, just reached for that hope that maybe that motherfucker might help my fucking grandmother? You think I'm not gonna reach out for that possible fucking hope, right? And you know what? She's probably not gonna fucking make it. Okay? So fuck you and fuck your God. I'm done.
I just lost a friend this week. I'm sorry. I am sorry. I lost a friend this week.
About you. Fuck you.
Okay.
Donate your money that you're investing in your internet right now to the fucking homeless, and then I'll talk to you, bitch.
Funny thing about that, at the time I was interning for Neighborhood Care Center and I was actually doing outreach and working for youth at the time. And we did work with folks that were poor and in need, but it was really funny, the assumption. Also, sorry for anybody's grandmother that's going to pass away. Back to Pillbox, 75-year-old women do pass away sometimes. This happens, but I know that when you're attached, when you're attached to people, the loss and grief is incredible. I totally get it. At the time, I really did lose a friend that week, and that friend was young, and it seemed incredibly unfair. So, like, I totally got it, and the tone drop is actually sincere. But she's just escalated, and there's no way to de-escalate it. It's just gone. It's gone.
How about
Why am I a bitch? What have I done to you personally, Tanya? What have I done to you personally?
Sitting in the house you're fucking.
I don't think I'm better than you.
This is out of fucking line. This is seriously out of fucking line.
Donate all your shit for your loving God to help all these people, okay? You're the fucking hypocrite. You're the fucking hypocrite. Donate all your shit to God like he told you to. The rich man, he told that rich man, donate everything you fucking own to the needy, and then you will go to heaven. That's what he said in Luke, bitch. Read it. It's in your book. Okay?
I know my book really well. Thanks, so.
That is one of my favorite lines. That's what it says in Luke, bitch. Read your Bible.
That Deidre said.
You're a fucking hypocrite, bitch. That's what
It'd
you
be really
are.
cool if you let people talk once in a while, Tanya.
I'm just upset.
I'm just here.
I'm upset right now.
I'm upset.
Yeah, and you're doing a lot of damage to your cause.
I don't care. Okay? I don't care. I really don't right now.
I actually am not into material possessions, and I do agree.
I don't think Tanya has a cause.
Okay, really?
Tanya,
all right, chill the fuck out. Hold on.
Tanya,
chill the fuck out. Chill the fuck out. Tanya, look, Tanya. Hey, there is people that experience deaths within their fucking personal lives all the time. All right,
they do.
I'm sorry your grandmother is going through that shit.
Exactly.
But every one of us is experiencing shit like that throughout the times in our lifetime. So it's no fucking reason.
Are you really defending this fucking bitch? Really?
Hey, no, I'm not.
Hey, she's not a fucking bitch.
I think it's really funny because, like, at the time, like, it was, I forgot what I was going to say because I read something. I'm one of those people. If you could give me some leniency, please. I did just come out working a long shift, and I do have long haul COVID, so I'm a little bit brain foggy. So any grace when I go, oops, I forgot what I was going to say. I do have some of that short-term memory fog, which is really irritating, by the way.
Oh gosh, stay out there.
Fucking trying to defend anybody here.
What are you?
Do you hear me trying to defend anybody here?
Oh, what I was trying to say was that I don't think she was trying to defend me. I think she was pointing out that Tanya was making a really bad argument.
Tanya,
Do I sound like I'm trying to defend anybody here?
I'm
trying to get control.
A loving God.
I am trying to get control.
Yeah, that was Seth. That was Seth before he met the Pal Talkers. He was a little more friendlier back then. Seth, did the internet ruin you like you ruined me? Like did the internet ruin us? I think it did a little bit. I don't know.
Roll over my goddamn.
I like Seth, by the way. Seth's a cool dude. He's actually really interesting to talk about philosophy with. And I actually miss talking to him.
Hang out so that there could be some fucking goddamn discussion.
Forgive me
in
for
my hangout.
talking, okay?
Really?
You know, we're not going to forgive you for not letting anybody else talk.
Hey,
Tanya.
hold
We can
on.
forgive you for
Hold the fuck
talking.
on.
Look, I had a rant. Get the fuck over it. God damn.
Yeah, come on, guys. I mean, this is the first time Tanya's lost her patience with somebody. So chill out yourself. Don't tell people how they can behave on Hangouts.
I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna be quiet now. I had a rant. Get the fuck over it. Now go ahead.
I'm still in the middle of a sentence right now. Tanya, people can go to the and then
I have a feeling Annabelle was quite enjoying me getting chewed on at the time, so she's like, please let the chewing continue.
they can go through this experience and then not think that there is no God. So you're going through this experience right now and thinking that there is no God. Somebody can go through the same experience and think that there is a God. So
the gentleman that's talking there, I do not remember his name, but it is Seth's friend. And Seth's friend is interesting because he believes in the Christian God. He says, I believe in the Christian God, and I believe in this almost Calvinistic predestined Christian God, but I believe this God did not choose me and that I'm destined for hell. I have never met anybody in my life with that position. It's very interesting. And I couldn't tell if he was trolling with that position or sincere, but that was the position he was holding in all our conversations. And I thought that was interesting. Find me a Calvinist that thinks they're destined for hell. I think that's interesting.
That should be a reason to think that this argument isn't very good.
No, that's going back to the argument we had earlier.
Okay, so there's no reason.
No, shut the fuck up. The point she's trying to make is if you think that there is some loving God that is out there for your best interest personally, okay? I'm not saying any other position, but if there's a God out there for your best interest, then obviously that's not the case, because there's issues out there, there's reality that is showing that there's not a personal God that is in your best interest. That
we used to call Declan Calvinist ice cream because he was finicky or something. I don't remember why. There was some reason for it, but yeah. Declan, though, was one of the few people that was an apologist that would say, I could be wrong. I hear Declan is an agnostic now. Declan is no longer a Calvinist. So about, give him 4 to 5 years, he changed his position as well. It's interesting, right? People do change their positions.
It is fucking helping the situation.
Yeah, right? I don't think that's a very good argument, though.
Unless you want to try to make an argument that this God has exterior fucking knowledge that we don't have, and you're posing that this God has that knowledge. That's a good fucking cop out.
That's what I'm posing.
Way to go.
Well, he wouldn't be God if we knew everything that he knew, would we? He wouldn't be a very good God, right?
He wouldn't be a very good God if he led us to deception either, honey. And that's what he's doing in this shit. Or else there would be no atheist, right?
So many good points being made right now.
Seth, just bring it like you do. Just do it.
That's Seth's friend, I think.
There's not just...
If your God truly cared... Oh, let's talk about your fucking caring God. Come on, bring it.
That's
It's about your caring God.
Our caring God says
Oh,
accepted.
He has this ultimate fucking purpose that we don't have.
I've been united with the Lord. I'm a member of Christ's body. He
Oh,
says I'm his
yeah.
adopted
Oh, because
child.
you're
He says I'm
fucking
forgiven of all
brainwashed,
my
honey.
sins.
Have you ever
He says
thought
I'm
about
free
the?
of condemnation.
Have you ever
He
thought?
says I'm free from all condemning.
Have you ever thought?
Why are you preaching? Why are you preaching, Deirdre?
These fucking.
Point of contention. So Annabelle's upset that I'm preaching, and I am throwing out actually a gazillion verses at once that I had memorized in the past about who God says you are as a Christian, because I was naming that off because it was being challenged in my mind. So I started going off, and they said that I didn't know scripture and I didn't know it. So like these are literally a bazillion Bible verses that I had remembered. So like I was exasperated at that point, as you can probably tell by my tone. But that was when I was sweeter and kinder, and also held different beliefs.
Brainwashed?
Okay.
Have you ever thought that you might be brainwashed? Period.
No, she
I
doesn't.
think everybody's
Of course
influenced.
not.
Everybody's influenced.
He's right.
Yeah, some of us are
Everybody's influenced by
some of us
somebody.
are influenced by fact.
Nobody
Some of us are
wants to
influenced
admit
by
they're
fiction.
fucking brainwashed. Of course
Excuse
they
me, y'all. Can I cut in for a moment, please?
Please.
Yeah, go ahead, Shadow.
Let Shadow say something because I like.
Well, regardless, Tanya,
Sorry.
I'm sorry to hear about your grandmother.
Thank you.
I wish I could give you a hug. I would if I could.
I know.
So Shadow has this voice that he puts on, and if you see Shadow in my chats with a wrench, that is a different Shadow, but this is Shadow Heathen, not Shadow Tiger. And Shadow has this voice that he puts on when he's trying to calm people down, and it cracks me up because it is a voice. It's like a radio voice kind of thing.
I don't know how things are going to turn out. Sometimes life just kind of kicks you in the teeth. I got kicked in the teeth a couple weeks ago. I had a stroke recently.
Oh my God.
So I kind of know what it's like to deal with personal turmoil. It happens, and sometimes you get past it and sometimes you don't, but you got to accept things as they're thrown at you.
Yeah.
So be strong, and I hope everything goes as well as it can.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Are you all right, man?
I got control of my arm back. Somebody pissed me off enough that I wanted to choke them, and that got my arm moving again.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. I am.
Was it a Christian, Shadow?
No.
Deidre now.
Hey, we've talked back and forth, Shadow. We've had
Wait,
It was a Scientologist.
Hang on a second.
It was a
hang on second. It might
Scientologist.
have been actually. They walked in the room and they said, "Well, you'll be well, we're waiting for the room to be available for you upstairs. It should be there any minute." And I said, "It's been any minute now for the last fucking 6 hours." And they said, "Don't swear at me." And I said, "I'm not swearing at you. I'm swearing in the same room at you." And they said, "How would you feel if I started swearing at you?" I'm like, "I have these hangouts like on weekly basis called Insomnia Shuffle, where people come in and call me all kinds of things.
They have
It's
no
all, what's your deal?" And the guy's like, "Well, and I'm like, "Listen, you." And at that point, my arm decided to move because I was like, "Dude, learn the difference between cursing at you and near you. What the heck?"
Shadow had this thing called Insomnia Shuffle where you could just join the join link and, talk about all sorts of things. The topics would shift. It could talk about books. You could talk about atheism, Christianity. You could talk about movies. Like the topic would shift. And it was interesting when it would shift to something that theists and atheists would both talk about without conflict. And that would happen every so often. And it was quite pleasant. It humanized people. And there were a few hangouts like that humanized each other and kept us from like getting in situations like you just saw.
Hell.
Look at that. The mind is very powerful.
I love the fact that Heathens is bold enough to, instead of saying, what the other person said, he goes, ba 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 ba. Yeah, that is totally that's totally in my family. And then they said ba 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 ba, and then I punched him.
What they said was, "Well, you should be glad it was just an arm and not your leg." I'm like, "I right, you asshole." At which point I'm like, "Ugh."
And then I bounced his head off of a toilet.
I'll have you know, I play games, and this is my potion quaffing hand.
13, I am sad to hear that, man.
Well, I've been working all week, and I'm getting to the point I can almost flip somebody off, which means I can almost drive safely.
Right now,
do you actually have physical therapy or?
Yeah, twice a week now.
Oh, goddamn. I fucking hate physical therapy, man. I mean, I don't know. I think it's a sham, but whatever.
Considering 2 weeks
No,
ago,
I
considering
don't
2 weeks
know.
ago,
Why would you think physical therapy is a sham? I have so many questions.
I couldn't move my arm at all. I'm not too upset.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
they can do a lot with physical therapy now, Shadow Man. If
It's
you
not
just
just physical therapy, occupational therapy. I mean, some people think these things are a sham until they have like an autistic son or something.
No,
like
I
I
get it.
have,
I
or
get it.
whatever.
I just,
For some people, it's more of a help than other people. I think.
no,
My
you're right.
husband sawed off his thumb almost, like it
Oh
was
my God.
dangling.
Oh my God.
And
What
it
the
was
fuck?
amazing though. The doctor like put it back together and
Oh, it
like
must be God. I'm sorry.
physical therapy is amazing. Like just the
No, you're
difference that
right.
it made.
Yeah, my husband did almost saw off his thumb with a not a sawzall, it was a grinder, and the grinder slipped, and he didn't have a guard on it, and it slipped and then jumped, and his thumb was just hanging. And my husband, being the weirdo that he is, said, I have a big old mess on the job site here, blood everywhere, looks like a murder. Instead of getting help immediately, he wraps it up as tight as he can so he's not bleeding everywhere, and then goes and washes off the driveway with a hose so that it's not blood everywhere, so the homeowner doesn't come back and go, ah. And then he goes, where do I go for this injury calls work? And then I get a text message later going, I'm in the hospital, I cut myself. I'm like, you what? And like they opened up the bandage when I found him in the hospital, and he had almost passed out by the time he got to the hospital, because he had been bleeding, and it was shocking. And like sure enough, like his thumb is like dangling like Frankenstein, and he's cut into his bone. He like made it like halfway through his bone, cut through his tendon, and it's just dangling because like the tendon can't pull it back up. Dude, this he had the greatest surgeon ever. Like it was, so I guess some people that do hands also do faces in surgery because it's so detailed, and you're dealing with nerves and all sorts of tendons and stuff. And they were able to fix his thumb, so that way they were able to fix the tendon that was pulling it back up. And then once they got that going, they tried to clean it all out and stitch it. And he had these crazy stitches. It looked like Frankenstein, just like all over the place, all across his thumb, into his like hand. And we would joke and call it Franken thumb because it looked like it should have been a dead thumb. Like after surgery, it did not look good. Like it looked like off color and just looked weird. But the doctor's like, no, this is cool. This is fine. Give it a chance. And then he had physical therapy for about 3 months. And I was worried that he would lose his motion in the thumb, that it would get stuck. But physical therapy brought his thumb back. And while it's still stiff in some ways, he can move it and utilize it and stuff. And it was just really amazing. So physical therapy is not bad. Go to physical therapy. It's great. Do it. I highly endorse physical therapy. What's bad is chiropractors. Chiropractors look into. They are problematic. Physical therapy, good. Chiropractor, sketch. Okay. Glad we had that TED Talk. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's crazy. Damn. All right. Well,
I'm just glad that you're doing better. 13.
I'm glad y'all are doing good and stuff.
Thank fucking goodness for our
Thank the
scientific
star.
advancement
And all of
and
the
not the false hopes.
molecules who have molded with other molecules. That shit is the way it is. I'm really happy about that.
I want to point out that there's a lot of folks that are firebrand anti-theists that just juxtapose science with religion. And I just want to point out that there are plenty of scientists that have religion in their life. The question is, what are their views? Does their religion affect, their work, things like that? But this whole like idea of thank God for science and not for God, like it's like, well, there are plenty of people that believe in science. There are plenty of people that believe that, you know, there's an old Earth. There's plenty of people that believe in vaccines, things like that. It's no atheism required. If you want to say there's no Christianity required for morality, I'm just going to say there's no atheism required for believing that science is helpful and a good and great tool. And it is changing. We're always learning, we're always adjusting, and that's okay. It's not a concrete dogmatic belief. Science changes with more information, and that's a good thing.
I'm a bitch. I'm a bitch. Just say it. Go ahead with Mr.
No,
Beard.
Hey, where
actually-
is my platter? My
No.
fucking
What?
platter. Hey, look, I am
of
trying to roll
lobster?
my own goddamn cigarettes, and now I can't find my little thing that fucking flattens shit.
What I think is
What
kind
are
of
you,
neat,
what,
though.
are you even what are you even saying? What are you even
I don't know.
I don't think
I just know I need my thing to flatten.
Eve, it's
Tobacco.
behind the couch.
it's always behind the couch.
Probably is.
It's
It
always
probably
behind the couch.
is.
Look under the cushions. You know that's where it's at.
It probably.
You're sitting on it right now.
Damn it. Probably.
It's behind your ear.
Do you know what I'm drinking right now? Do you know what I'm drinking right now? And this is disgusting. But do you want me to tell you guys?
You're drinking
Um,
wood alcohol.
No,
Methanol. You're gonna go blind
piss.
tomorrow.
It's
No,
fucking
no.
piss. Oh my god.
Piss? Did you say piss?
Well, you said it's disgusting, so we had to go with something disgusting.
Fuck.
Jesus God.
Eve, no, you're my friend. What the fuck are you gonna say?
I'm just
You said
telling you
you
shit.
said
That,
something
like,
disgusting.
Like, that's what I'm gonna
Shadow.
do. Like, no.
Shadow.
Tanya, I'm teasing.
Oh, okay.
Shadow.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
so what? So
In
what I
Canada,
am right
piss is pronounced Heineken.
Ah, okay.
now. Oh.
Yeah.
No, but I'm not. Okay, here's what I don't know what I'm drinking. Okay, all I know is that it was some kind of really dark brown liquor that goes in coffee. It's like some kind of like coffee
Kahlua.
liquor.
Kahlua.
No, but it's not Kahlua. That's what I don't understand. But it was in the
Sambuca?
freezer, and it said coffee liqueur, and I mixed it with some milk.
Kahlua is a coffee liqueur. It's
Amaretto,
all
maybe?
basic. It's a brand name off, you know.
Definitely not
Amaretto, maybe?
I don't know where my little
You want me
pattern
to
is.
show you
That's
off
what's
the
getting
bottle?
me
Maybe y'all
fucking.
can
It's
Annabelle knows what it is.
crazy.
Annabelle knows. Annabelle knows what it is.
I'm just gonna.
First of all, can I just say, Seth, I wasn't talking to you. And second of all, it's Tia Maria.
No, I don't know what it is. I'm gonna just show
Hey,
you.
I'll be right back, you guys.
All right, are you ready?
Okay, yo.
Tell me what this is.
But it
I don't think
tastes
much
good with
happens
the milk.
after this.
It
Let me
really
double
does.
check.
I actually like it with the milk. Crack. Hold on. Let's see if Maddie's gonna talk. Hold on. Shh. Everybody. Shh.
All right, real quick.
Go ahead, Maddie.
I have one quick anecdote about my crack. I bent over once and somebody just gave me $100. I don't quite know what that's all about, but
Down your crack?
baby, I love them
Oh,
up.
And
Well, they used ATM card.
Oh
They saw
my.
they didn't have
Oh
cash,
my.
so
So they
saw
just
my
swiped it.
crack.
Oh,
you clean
The
it
swipe
afterwards?
was fine.
It's
I
so
smelled the credit
irresistible.
card afterwards. and,
Monty, it's just so irresistible. I just don't. I mean, my God, I don't know how you're like not.
He's doing the sexy growl. I don't like the sexy growl, but there are some women that really like it, especially when it comes from him.
Not rich and famous right now.
Mm,
I'm a stranger in a strange
because I'm a
land.
douche.
mm, yeah.
Yes.
I love to douche.
Mouty.
Because he loves to douche. Do you love to
Howdy.
douche, Monty?
Oh no.
boy.
Mouty.
While I have the platform, Annabelle, you there?
Mm-hmm.
I want to eat your dog.
Oh, just for 1 second there. Just for
Holy
1
shit, your
second.
dog is
I
the
thought it
cutest
was my
fucking
lucky
thing on
What
earth.
kind of sauce?
Like
What kind of sauce do you
barbecue?
want to use? What
Like
kind of
barbecue?
sauce do you want to use, Christopher?
I can't believe he just said that.
He wants to eat it because it's so cute. He wants to eat it up because it's so cute.
I want to eat it up.
Shadow, you're not
I don't want to
helping.
eat. I don't want to cook it and kill it or anything.
Oh, I see.
Although
Oh
I would.
no! Monty is just trying to
That was inappropriate.
himself as like controversial
No.
or like a bad boy. He
Yeah.
wants to look like a bad boy when he's really not.
He's such a bad boy. Okay, so yeah, so that was Molly the dog. Molly the dog was a sweetheart. She passed away, unfortunately. Again, this was 5 years ago, but sweet little dog. And so Annabelle used to show us little pictures of her dogs and stuff like that. So it's interesting because sometimes folks in this hangout that were fighting, sometimes there were human connections that would happen that were okay. Actually, fast forward in time, Tanya and I went to the San Diego Zoo together. She visited San Diego and we went to the zoo. No screaming fights were happening. We were good. We were humans being humans and humaning just great. So like that happens. She did say, I hug like I have autism. Okay, fair enough. I don't have autism, but apparently you can hug like you have autism. I am an awkward hugger, and my mama never gave me no hugs. I say that as a joke, but not really. So like I just didn't grow up in a family that said I love you or hugged at all. And so it's made me I'm very hesitant to hug people when I just first meet them. So like if I say, hey, I just met you, and someone bounds up to me and goes, here's this obligatory hug. It could be at church. It could be a person that I just met off the internet. That obligatory hug is awkward for me. A point in example, Drag came up and started bounding up to me for a hug when we went to San Francisco trip, and Drag is like 6'1", and he's a big guy, and he comes bounding up to me, and I'm like, whoa, this guy like with size 14 feet and 6'1" is coming up to me and wants this hug from me, and I'm like, how do I hug like I don't have autism? And I and there nothing this isn't like slammed for anybody that's on the spectrum, except to say that I've gotten that feedback that I eat like I have autism and I hug like I have autism. But if I'm comfortable enough with you and I have known you long enough as a friend in person and we broke bread enough in person, I'm cool with hugs and I'm much better with hugs. But when I first meet you, yes, I'm a bit awkward for sure. So that was really funny. Fast forward to that feedback from Tanya. No, I'm not on the spectrum, but I do have some similarities to, I guess, the spectrum. I'm an incredibly finicky eater, and if I don't know you, I hug very awkwardly. So there's that. I say, so Van says, hey, I thought the zoo was our thing. So Van and I went to the zoo, actually, and I can show you we went to the zoo. I have video proof that we went to the zoo. I didn't video Tanya and I's reaction to the zoo, but I have proof about visiting the zoo with Van. You ever want to see what Van looks like? He's a silver fox. Let me see here. Oop, oop, oop. All right, I'm going to stop my share real quick, and then we're going to close out Tanya saying, my grandmother, and showing her, nose, nostrils, and stuff. And we're going to go over, and I'm going to show you what meeting Van was like. Well, it's not like the first time I've met Van or anything like that, but like, let me see here. I feel like I'm doing spackle inception. There's so many things going on. This is where I could be yelling at a producer to get their act together, but unfortunately I don't have one. So you're gonna have to deal with me fumbling around. I can't remember what life is. What is life? What is life? What do we do? Okay, let me try it this way. All right. All right. I will find this video. It's not too far down the list. Maybe it is far down the list. Whoa, it is. Wow, that long ago. This has been 2 years ago, Van. Can you believe this? 2 years ago. Okay. Let's see here. So I have video proof. Atheists and theists can chill and not murder each other and scream. So let's see here.
I didn't expect me to, actually.
Small world.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get lucky and we're able to get out and about.
Yeah, I guess so.
It was only a 1,300-mile drive.
1,300 miles. That's a long ways. Yeah. I thought I was doing crazy with the with the San Francisco trip. That was 500 and something, but 1,300 miles. That's a long ways ago.
We're gonna head about 1,500 to get back because we're taking a couple of detours on the way back.
Very cool. So what cities are you going to hit up? I think you're going to meet up with Seth, right?
We're gonna try and do lunch with Seth.
Seth was in the video with the beard.
We're gonna head up to Vegas. Then we're heading over to Grand Canyon. We're gonna see all those formed in a rapid deposition layers out there, and then we're gonna head down to Phoenix and meet up with Ermine.
Which is ironic that you'll find her in Phoenix.
And then we're going to Colorado, which is where Ermine lives, but she's not there. And then back. Oh no, we're going to Albuquerque first, and then to Colorado, and then back to the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
There we go. So that is quite a lot of driving. How many hours?
Our first day we did 10 hours, and we haven't done more than 8 since.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of driving. Our significant others are hiding over there. See?
Yeah, they ran off. They were like, I don't want to go live. Bye.
Very happy about that. Heavy Holler says hi.
Hola, Heavy. Okay.
We've got Heavy playing WoW again. So.
Oh, cool. You got them on the Horde side, though, so come on.
For the Horde.
Alliances for children and those that like them.
For the Horde.
Dwarfs.
Yes.
And dwarfs, if you like dwarfs, which
I'm a
apparently you're really into dwarfs. I don't know why, but you know. I know it is kind of crazy, and nobody yet has turned out to be a serial killer. There's been some drama, but no killings yet, so that's good.
Wait till tomorrow.
So nobody's turned out to be a serial killer. So I have met a lot of people actually online, and most of them are really great. There was an incident with rhetoric that didn't go so well, and there's many stories about that. But other than that, I think that was the only incident that's gone bad. And so out of 20 people or more that I've met, like it's been actually really good.
Well, that's what this is about then. Yeah, so anyway, I just wanted proof to say that, hey, yes, you can visit people. We haven't had any blowout dramas.
Oh, no. I mean, I think
Van, you're gray, but you're the kind of gray where women go, oh, like it's the silver fox gray. It works. It's not the McCray gray where you just have like fuzz coming over your ears and like frayed crazy hair that you're growing out long to make up for what you're losing on top. No, you got good gray hair. This is the good kind of gray hair.
the biggest thing was what are we going to have for breakfast?
Yep, that's it. Nothing crazy. I just want to prove to you that it's not all drama and
It's not all
craziness.
drama. I mean, we're going to be looking back on this with fondness.
Yep. Nobody's threatened to Ruger or
No Rugers.
nothing.
Oh, that's a Reds rhetoric. So this is after Reds.
Over here, we're looking at the elephants and
Scratching her butt.
she's scratching her butt. I miss Cha-Cha. Cha-Cha used to actually dance for us. She used to Cha-Cha. But scratching butt, I guess, is okay. And I guess let's go ahead and look at other elephants. I'll stay live for a little bit, and then we'll not. I know Scott's not always fond of the camera either. Most people aren't. Most people, I'm not too thrilled with the camera either. But hey, what you gonna do?
So, yep. The video proof that I did meet Van. Van threw me in the brig. We went and saw. Oh gosh, what's the name of the ship? See, I told you, my memory is like really screwed. The starts with an M. Midway. Thank you, Midway. We were on we were in the Midway and exploring the Midway, and you can kind of tour the Midway and the big aircraft carrier and crawl up in this, certain spaces they let you crawl up into and take a look. And we went in the brig, and he threw myself and his wife in the brig together. And we were very sad. We had sad. No, actually, we loved it. It wasn't bad at all. And so, yeah, got you in your bed. I don't remember you being in your bed. I remember being in your hotel room. That's what I remember with your wife. Yeah. Let the rumors fly there. So anyway, thank you so much for visiting and stuff like that. It was a Throwback Thursday reviewing of times past when people held different positions and were incredibly excitable and drunk. And they said, go in and I dare you to talk with Eve. Go into that hangout and talk about Jesus. And I said, okay, cool. Hold my beer. And it worked out amazing. I thought. I think everything's great. So, all right. Well, appreciate you guys showing up and bearing with the video and my poor memory. And things change. But I still think that firebrand anti-theists and fundamentalists that want to do the turn to burn are the same side of the same coin. Think differently? Let me know what you think. All right. See ya.